I have been on an Austrian bike for the last 8 years, since 2012. I was on KTM up until last year, and then last year I rode a Husqvarna. For about a month, I did ride a Yamaha, but I ended up switching back to a Husqvarna. And now I'm going back to a Japanese bike. There's a lot of reasons why I switched, but I guess the ultimate reason is a comfort thing. Pretty much since I was a sea rider, I haven't felt that comfortable on a bike. I've gotten faster, that's obvious. I was a sea rider and now I'm a professional, but the comfort hasn't really been there since I was on that bike. And I say that bike, I don't want to say what brand, because when I was a sea rider, I was riding the brand that I'm switching back to. So I guess before we get any further, I might as well just show you what bike I'm gonna ride. I'm riding a Honda. So like I said, 2010 as a sea rider, I rode a Honda, and I was a little bit shorter. I was like 5'10", now I'm 6'1", but honestly, the last time I felt comfortable was when I was on a Honda. Not to say that the Husqvarnas are bad bikes or the KTMs. They're great bikes. I can't stand the Air Forks, but other than that, they're great bikes. Obviously, I rode them for 8 years for a reason, but it seems the past few years, the dominance that KTM had is kind of starting to go away. And that's not the reason why I switched, but that is part of the consideration. All these brands are starting to catch back up to KTM, and I thought it was about time to try a different one, see if there is a brand that fits me better than the Austrian bikes. And if you really look, it seems like those KTM and Husqvarnas are kind of made for shorter dudes. Cooper Webb, he's tiny. He looks normal sized on a KTM. Baggett is tiny. He looks normal sized on a KTM. Jason Anderson really isn't that big, but he looks kind of tall on a Husqvarna. Dungey looked normal on a KTM. Then the short amount of time he was on Honda, he looked kind of small. And then there's somebody like Josh Hansen, who grew up here in Colorado, so I know him pretty well. And me and him are pretty much the same height. And you can tell he looked big on most bikes, and now that he's on a Honda, he looks like it fits him perfectly. And really, what started my interest in Hondas was last year at the Outdoor Nationals. I didn't make any, so I had plenty of time to watch other privateers, other racers, and see what their bikes looked like. And to me, pretty much consistently at every national, Hondas looked the best. Any privateer Honda looked really good, honestly. And I couldn't say that for the other brands. Other brands, there was a bunch of people that didn't look that good, honestly. That was a big reason for me, is seeing all these guys look really good on Hondas. And that ultimately influenced my decision. Now, I haven't actually ridden this thing yet. It's not broken in or anything, because we've had a lot of snow here in Colorado. 2 days ago, it snowed a ton, and a lot of that snow has melted, but it's still there. And I haven't had a chance to ride yet. And unfortunately, but also fortunately, I'm going on vacation tomorrow, so I'm not going to be able to ride it for another week probably. That vacation is Cabo. We're going fishing again, so expect another fishing video. And the recap video will either be late or I'll try to do it while I'm there. Just letting you know. With all that said, that's like a very short version of why I switched to Honda. I'm very excited to actually ride this thing. You know, when I do, the first time I ride this thing like hard, not while I'm breaking it in, but the first time I actually get to really ride it, I'll be making a video. I'll be giving my review on really what I think of this bike. last year I worked with MUN, KTM, Husqvarna down in Texas. I love those guys down there. They're amazing. Chip, Big Dan, all of them. One of the best dealers in the country, really. And it was unfortunate that I didn't ride a KTM or Husqvarna because I wasn't able to work with them again this year. But I got to work with Faye Myers from Denver. I've worked with them a lot before. I'm excited to work with Brian. Never worked with him before. I have nothing but good things to say about Faye Myers too. So I'm excited to work with them again. It's unfortunate that I don't get to work with MUN, but I love Faye Myers too. So if you're in Colorado and you're looking for a bike, Faye Myers, that's where I get my stuff. Just thought I should throw that out there. So any of you Honda riders out there, let me know what you think, and I'll have a video of giving my full review very soon. So stay tuned for that, and I'll see you guys in my next video. Bye.